Let me ask you about gas masks. We understand that they have gas masks available. How long does a gas mask last?
Gas mask is merely filters out the tear gas. It doesn't contain any self-contained oxygen that would help somebody if the problem was lack of oxygen. The only thing a gas mask has is a filter to filter out the tear gas or whatever, or the smoke.
Thank you for that. Let's go back to near Waco and to CNN correspondent Mike Capps. Mike?
Sonia, there's a couple of points to make here. Keep in mind, we're mile and a half away from this fire, almost 2 miles really, with an 800 millimeter lens. Smoke is billowing 150, 200 feet into the air. And also keep in mind, this is an area the size of a city block that's on fire. We are not talking about a small fire here. This is a big blaze and a hot blaze, and we've, as you pointed out a few moments ago, we've seen an explosion. So this is obviously a very dangerous situation.
Mike, as you said, that explosion came from the area in the compound where FBI officials suspected the weapons and the explosives were being held. Now, it's very clear from talking with the fire chief and also from sources within the FBI that they were not expecting this. As we had reported earlier, the scenario called for tear gas to be inserted using various tracked vehicles. And in the best case scenario was that everyone would come out within 15 minutes. The worst case scenario, the worst thing they imagined in terms of planning this operation was that it would take 2 hours for the people to come out. So clearly this was not part of the plan. They did not have fire trucks standing by. They were not expecting an explosion of this magnitude and a fire of this magnitude. And so certainly, you know, it must be, at this point, very difficult to figure out what to do next.
Plus, we're into the 7th hour of this instead of the 2nd hour.
Absolutely.
It seems like the smoke is not nowhere near as thick as it was. However, the fire is still rolling. Mentioned a moment ago about the structural unsoundness of these buildings, and it's pretty obvious both while watching the M60 vehicle back in and out, and then seeing how the fire just raced through here. And let's give the wind a little bit of blame here, because it is extremely windy, as we've pointed out repeatedly here all day long, and that just made the situation even that much worse.
Now, Mike, this has been going on, as you said, about 6.5 hours ago. For the moment now, though, some local cable operators will be cutting away for a commercial message at this time, but CNN live coverage of developments in Waco continues. As you can see, a large part of the compound, the Branch Davidians complex, known to them as Mount Carmel, is in flames. We have seen a number of explosions. The flag, however, continues to fly. Tactical officials with the FBI did tell me that one reason they never knocked down the flagpole was that it would provide information to sharpshooters. It could provide the strength of the wind and the direction of the wind should sharpshooters ever be called upon. So that is one reason why that flagpole has not been knocked down. Mike, are any of the 3rd or 4th level floors of the compound, are they still standing?
It doesn't appear to be. None of them appear to be, Bonnie. It's I'm seeing the same picture you are, a very wide shot, and from my vantage point, it appears that everything that was above the 2nd level is gone, except the water tower appears to be still standing. And let's keep in mind one other thing. We had mentioned some underground tunnels and the possibility of a bunker. Bob Ricks in the news conference said he believed
Mike,
that was nothing more than a crawl space. Yes, I'm sorry.
Mike, for those viewers rejoining us following a local commercial break, CNN is bringing you live coverage of developments in Waco, Texas. We also remind you that for a current update of the day's news, you can tune to Headline News. Now, let's return to CNN's live coverage of developments in Waco. Mike, can you give us an update?
Yes. What you're seeing is the Branch Davidian compound that's been under siege for the past 51 days. It is engulfed in flames. What happened was about 6 o'clock this morning, local time, the federal agents in an armored vehicle began pumping tear gas. The flag has just fallen there along the branch, in front of the Branch Davidian compound. Federal agents began poking holes in the side of the building and pumping tear gas in there. They relented for a while, and but steadily continued to pump tear gas. About 50 minutes ago, we watched this M60 armored vehicle move in and out of what appeared to be the front portion of the south portion of the building, and insert more tear gas and still more tear gas. And then we saw flames break out, and wind blew and blew and blew, and the flames steadily spread throughout the compound. And this is, gosh, this has taken us what we've been like this in flames for the better part of an hour now.
Mike, as you mentioned, shortly before federal officials began using the tracked vehicles to poke holes into the walls and to insert the tear gas. According to Special Agent in Charge Bob Ricks, they did broadcast over the loudspeaker system a message to those people inside, the 95 people, according to Koresh, and they said, quote, "This is not an assault, do not fire. We're introducing a non-lethal tear gas. Exit the compound now and you will not be harmed. Come out and you will be provided medical attention." Of course, no one took them up on the offer, and at this point there's no word on where the 95 people, that includes some 25 people under the age of 18, where they are now, and if indeed they're in some sort of underground bunker or not.
And Bonnie, we need to point out again, the only vision of humanity we've seen outside this place has been what appeared to be 3 or 4 men dressed in black, apparently a SWAT team, FBI men outside, and that's probably been 25 minutes ago now.
As you can see on the screen now, to the left of the tracked vehicle, you can see some of the FBI agents. There are some late reports right now that one person did exit the compound with his hands up and that he has been taken into custody. But as of now, that is only one of 95 people, 94 people now. On the screen, once again, you can see one of the federal agents standing on the tracked vehicle quite close to that compound in the burning building.
Have not seen any more movement aside from that, Bonnie. You pointed out, I believe it was in the lower right-hand portion of the screen where you saw that FBI agent a moment ago.
Yes, it was. David Koresh, throughout this entire siege, has told federal authorities, and they have passed on to us, that he would not come out until he had a message from God. This was, of course, what delayed the entire process on the 3rd day of the siege, when Koresh had promised to come out after the playing of a 58-minute message. Federal officials were at the ready. They had the hospital prepared. They were going to take in the 3 or 4 wounded members of the cult, Koresh included, but then nothing happened. David Koresh explained he had been told by God to wait, and that he would not come out until God told him to come out.
Bonnie, we are seeing the first Waco fire truck go past us even as we speak. Now this has been some 45 minutes after the fire broke out. The fire chief, led in by Department of Public Safety trooper, and here comes the first pumper truck from the Waco Fire Department. 2 pumper trucks actually, and they'll be coming past they're coming past the compound, into the compound right now. You can see them entering, but as the fire chief told us a few moments ago, there's not a whole lot his men can do, his firefighters can do at this juncture.